Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah.
Hey, guys.
Yo!
Daria and Jordan back again.
How's it going?
With your movie blah, blah.
Blah, blah. So we just got back from watching Disobedience. It's a movie. Rachel McAdams. The movie starts off. Rachel Weisz is a photographer in New York City, and she's called back to London, where she was raised, because her father, who was a well-respected Jewish minister, has passed away. And so she goes for the funeral, and she meets her father's successor to take up his ministry. And she also meets his successor's wife, played by Rachel McAdams, and that is when the drama begins. So, Daria, what are your thoughts on Disobedience?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was very well done. Okay, so the entire time, I felt like I was walking on eggshells. Like, everyone was walking on eggshells at all times in the movie. I wasn't aware of the Jewish culture, and so it was very enlightening to me of what they go through, and it was really interesting, but I felt like nervous all the time. Yeah,
I agree. I felt like no one was saying what they wanted to say, and every scene you were just like, just say it, just do it. The scene would end. And so it was frustrating. It was a good frustration, though.
And Rachel Weisz was the only one who was like speaking her mind, and then she'd be like, "No, we're not going to talk about this now. We're not going to talk about it." And then she ended up leaving most of the time. She's the only one who escaped that community. The community. I don't know a lot about the Judaism. This was kind of a cool movie to kind of show some aspects of that faith. It seems very strict, and that isn't a criticism by any means, but with a strict, rigid, set of rules, it's natural that someone might leave, or feel like they don't belong. That's what Rachel Weisz's character, she felt early on, young, she left. And so she's being brought back, and she's being put under all this pressure. And so it's a kind of cool movie in that regards to, if you don't, feel like you fit in, you'll probably identify with her character. Yeah.
And Rachel McAdams' character.
Yeah, definitely. So, they were all best friends growing up. What I got from it was she left because people looked down on her for the way she was, which, from the trailer, you already know she likes women.
I felt it was a secret. I felt it was a secret, she didn't want anyone to know, so she left, because they kind of talked about it in hushed whispers, do you like women? Do you still only like women? I got the vibe that there was a secret, and she was like, I can't do this anymore, I'm just gonna leave. I don't want anyone to know. And then they just saw her as she just likes taking those tattoo pictures in New York. And she does whatever.
Interesting. Yeah, it was very unclear.
They don't make it clear. So you could be right, I could be right, we could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just the vibe I got. That's how I read it.
Yeah, I from what I thought, she'd been caught with a woman, so she left.
To the Judaism aspect, I thought it was because there's some things that I found interesting, and it kind of plays into the strict rules. For example, Rachel McAdams, she's married to this Jewish minister, and I guess it says that every Friday night she has to have sex with him.
Yeah.
Which I found, interesting. I don't know. I'm guessing that's an actual thing. They wouldn't just throw that in there because.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I found I was raised going to Catholic school, and so I went to Mass a lot. And Jewish church, their structure, I found illogical because they're seating all around the guy, and so some people just have bad seats where they see the back of the guy's head talk for a long time.
I was thinking about that, and all the women sit separately from the men.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is this religion?
Yeah.
It seems very old school, which brings me into the music. The music throughout the entire thing was very classical, and used actual instruments except one scene.
So did you like the music?
There were times where it took me out of... I feel like it didn't fit the mood.
That's what I was gonna say.
Really?
Me and you just connecting.
It's just like it do like high-pitched, like happy type music, but it would be not a happy...
It would come right off like a very sad, emotional scene, and then you'd have these little wood instruments, like it sounded like Harry Potter almost.
Yeah.
And it was like, I like this music, but it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So I needed some like sad music to really manipulate my emotions. To be like, I'm sad now. Instead, I was just like, oh, I think I'm happy now.
I'm like, is this a happy scene? It doesn't seem happy, but the music's happy, so it's like...
And the music there wasn't a whole lot of music in the movie, but it was there. I liked it, but it didn't work. So I was very conflicted.
Except the one scene where it wasn't instrument. Well, it was like...
The Cure love song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that moment because it was like, you can tell that was how they both, there's a scene where both Rachels are in a room together, and Rachel Weisz turns on this music and starts getting classical and boring. She changes it to The Cure. And they both, I want someone to make a gif out of this. They both start just like bobbing their heads at the same time, and it's very funny. And
I feel like that moment they finally let go and are able to be themselves.
They loosened up. Leave it to The Cure to just, break the ice.
Yeah.
They were the Cure! Oh!
How do you come up with these things?
I don't know! That was amazing. Glad. Are we recording? Okay, good. Yeah. So I thought that was a cool moment. That was a nice, subtle, small moment that worked. Yeah. So.
Another thing I did not like.
Dun dun dun!
There is a sex scene between the two that was very long, unnecessarily long, and went too far to a point where one of them spits in the other one's mouth. At that moment, well, once it's continued after I thought it should be over, I was like, did a man direct this film? Of course a man directed this film. Of course, this one scene is like way too long and way too intense and like very unnecessary. I was just like...
Yeah.
Right when that happened, I out loud said, what the f***?
So it's funny because everyone, like, when this movie like premiered at some film festival, everyone's like, oh, excited for the new Rachel McAdams movie, blah blah. And then after it screened, Twitter like blew up. It was like, oh my god, so and so spit into her mouth, and it was like, that's the movie we need to see. Like, Twitter blew up. Like, everyone's like, I'm ordering my advance tickets now.
Oh my god.
So that's what like hooked everyone. And for male directors to direct these kind of movies, I know blue is the warmest color, got a lot of heat. You have to ride this fine line between...
He also abused the women.
Yeah. So you have to ride this fine line between genuine representation of lesbian sex and gratuitous, and what the line is between too much and not enough, And
not what you've seen on Pornhub. Right,
yeah. And this one, it seemed to push it a little bit. It seemed to go long, and it felt a little Pornhub-y. So untold those Pornhub scenes look. I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
But, so, yeah, and then here's the spit. Here's the thing, so it's funny, because, like, I like to write. And occasionally, I get a sex scene that comes up. And I try and make it... I don't want my sex scene just to be a sex scene, I want to make it stand out. Mm-hmm. And so I'll try and do a little... Not weird, but like something memorable. And so, to be fair, I don't know whose idea the spit thing was. It was weird, but it's memorable and it gets people talking. Who knows? Maybe it could have been I don't know if the man was like, spit in her mouth, do it. Or if one of the rich was like, hey, we could try this.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It was weird. It was memorable. But overall, it did seem to be like a way... It did not fit in the tone of the rest of the movie. And that was my main concern, was that it was just like this slow, kind of dramatic, very, classy thing. Mm-hmm. And then like sex scene happened, it was like, shoot him over here, then you can do this. And it seemed to like escalate very quickly. Yeah. And it just didn't fit. And so,
I agree. Like they're from their culture is very like closed off and like cold. And so where would they get these like ideas? Yeah, I was grossed out by that scene. So it just, to me, I don't know where they got this idea to do this scene, but not appealing.
There was a guy sitting like all the way at the end of our row to my left, and there's a few times throughout the movie where like a character would do something rebellious, and he'd say, "Oh yeah," and so I was waiting for that sex scene. I was like, dude, don't say "oh yeah" during this scene. It'll make it so awkward. He didn't. He restrained himself. So.
See, it was even too much for him.
Yeah. He was left speechless. It was just, it didn't fit the tone. So it was very slow. And I don't know if the director was trying to capture, like, the excitement of the moment. Like, these characters have been built up, physical, repressed emotions. I don't know if that's what he was going for. Because I don't want to label the guy as some perv. I don't know the guy. But, you are in this responsibility of filming this so it's not gratuitous. And so I don't know, to me it didn't feel like the scene fit the tone of the rest of the movie.
I agree.
So that didn't really work for me all that well. The other thing that didn't work for me, I don't want to get into spoilers because I want people to see this movie, but I thought the movie went on for a few scenes too long. I thought the emotional resolution happened a few scenes earlier, and there was this really nice shot where I thought they could have closed. I thought it was going to go straight to credits. I would be like, yes!
I know exactly what scene you're... Yeah, because I thought the same thing.
Yeah, but then I was like, oh, we're cutting to a new day. And then I felt like the end, I don't know, I don't want to get into spoilers, but what did you think of the ending? Because I thought the end kind of betrayed what the theme of and the spirit of the movie was.
Yeah.
Because the two characters, they were repressed, and it was obvious that they wanted something, but then they didn't really get...
Yeah. I felt it could have ended way earlier, and there were unnecessary scenes, and that could have opened it up for, like, our imagination for what happens next, and then the way they told it just... I was like, oh, man, really?
Yeah, the title Disobedience, it, like, kind of gives this idea that the characters are... disobeying their Jewish faith, their upbringing. But then there's this whole idea of like freedom of choice and being who you want to be. And I thought the theme of the movie was that they should do what they want. But then, I think especially in today's times, that's such an uplifting message. But then when the movie didn't do that, it was like, well, what was the purpose then?
Yeah.
It's like the movie was so good and seemed to be building up to this, emotional resolution for these characters. And then the end just kind of dissipated all of that. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah, as I was watching it, I was like, oh, good, they're not giving it to us as easily as other movies do. And then, like, it got to this scene, and I'm like, oh, cool. And I kind of wanted to see, like, they should have just cut and left out the last few scenes, and then it would have been great.
Yeah, so I thought that was weird. It was just like, that was tonally off, tonally off, and then the sex scene was tonally off. Other than that, like, if you take those things, re-edit, or just take them out and put it together, it's like, oh, this is one finished, product, or whatever. Yeah. But with that, it was just like, well, it feels like someone just re-edited some weird things in there, and it felt all off. So, like, it's a good movie. I recommend it, but there are some moments that just didn't work.
I'll edit the film once it comes out, and then we'll have my version.
Honestly,
the Jordan and Daria version of Disobedience.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Yeah. The Blu-ray should come with, a little circle that says the Daria Jordan cut,
And it'll be way better.
Yeah, because it is a good movie. The performances are great. Rachel McAdams, Rachel Weisz, so good. I thought the poor man's Michael Fassbender, the guy who played Rachel McAdams' husband, I thought he was great.
Yeah, he was so good.
I want to see him in more things. So, do I recommend this movie? I do. I think it's flawed, but it's still recommendable.
Same. I agree. One thing I do want to say about the performances is, like, I was looking at their eyes, and how they looked at each other was just it had so much passion. Like, when they first saw each other, you saw the shame in their eyes. Like, not wanting to look at each other, but wanting to look at each other, but being ashamed of wanting to look at each other. And to portray that in your eyes is just like, those actresses are phenomenal.
So I know we made a short film recently, and when we're editing it, there's times where there's like the camera would go out of focus for like half a second, and you'd be like, we can't use this shot, it's done, take it out. And then there's a moment in this movie where it's a real emotional part, and the camera's like right up in this guy's face, and the guy's like going left to right, and the focus kept going in and out, in and out, in and out. And the whole time I was thinking, like, Daria must be losing her shit. Like, she's about ready to walk out of this picture. And then you just said to me before we did the review, you're like, oh, that out of focus thing was awesome. So, like, what worked here?
So that shot was so close up, and it was such a moment for that actor, that character, where he is going against what he's believed the entire movie. So I felt it did work because he's like in this moment where a huge thing had just happened to him, and he's conflicted within himself. So I feel like that shot portrayed it very well. It was like so close. It was like you're in his head, and like as he's talking, he's like, I've been told one thing, but I believe another, and like I see now. And so I thought that shot worked for that.
Yeah, I agree. It worked the whole time. I was like, I love this, because it was like the Jason Bourne, action scenes where it's like the camera's going everywhere, you can't tell what's going on, but you're like, this is true, this is how fight scene work. It'd just be scrappy, just like chaos. And this was like, he felt chaotic in his mind, trying to wrestle with what he was saying. And so the in and out of focus is like, it kept you on edge. It was like, he felt like he was going in and out of focus to convey what he was trying to say. And so I thought that was a cool way of doing it. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
great movie.
It was very good. That'll be my term. I'll say it's very good with some flaws.
Yeah, I agree. Very good.
It's just so I know we're trying to keep this short, but it's so hard to recommend this movie when it's like it's building up for this theme and it didn't pay off.
Yeah.
It's like so weird. It just like bitch slapped me across the face with this like, we're gonna give you this feeling, and then nope.
Just walk out of the movie after they leave the church. Yes.
Yeah.
Once they leave the church and the three of them are outside, after that scene's over, walk out, leave, run away.
Get your purse, get your coat, grab your kids, your wife, whoever. Leave the popcorn. Some teenager will pick it up and just run out before the next scene starts, and it ruins it. Yeah. It's good. You should watch it. As they say in the movie, may you live a long life. So this has been Movie Blah Blah. Click, subscribe, share.
Comment below.
Did
you see it? What'd you think?
What did you think about the spit? Was it too far?
What would you think about the ending?
Was it not far enough?
Disgusting. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye. Sorry, Mom.